All right, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Bahamut, one of your hosts this evening. Joining me is Cat Peach. How are you?
I'm doing swell. How are you doing today, Bahamut?
I've had a long day of work, and I'm ready for some Heroes of the Storm. Now, this is a Nexus Gaming Series Division B matchup. This is going to be between the blue team on the blue side this time. Finally, the gods have just put them on the right side, and then we're gonna have the One Tricks on the right in the red. And really quickly, just to catch everyone up in chat, the blue team won coin flip. They banned out Cursed Hollow. Infernal Shrines was then banned out by the One Tricks. Doom Spider Queen was the first map chosen by the blue team, and the One Tricks chose Towers of Doom. So let's get into this draft. How you feeling about Towers of Doom as the opening map?
Tomb of the Spider Queen as.
Oh, did I say Towers of Doom?
You did, which
I was
is
still
totally
reading
fine
Notebook,
because
yeah.
they are both team maps.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tomb of the Spider Queen is always a great place to start. I think the ability to, if you can get a win just by, kind of outmaneuvering, being able to really not just defend against your enemy or your opponent's turn-ins, but be able to really capitalize on map objectives and things like that. It's a strong statement for first map, and so whoever ends up taking this, I think will have the mental lead definitely, for more reasons than one. But it's a really good anyone can win with like any kind of composition. And you just kind of see really interesting stuff here. And so I'm interested to see what these teams are going to pull out today.
Yeah, and on the note of just kind of the rotations that we're going to be seeing, I really do like this map 4. That is a great place to take your enemy and just be like, can you make rotations? Can you hit camps on time? Can you macro? Like, and then going into Towers,
awareness is huge.
Yeah, and then going into Towers of Doom after that is a great follow-up, even in response from the One Tricks. Now, Maya going to be banned out on the side of the One Tricks, and then realistically, I don't know, we've got some changes that came into Diablo and Lunara. Diablo was a highly prioritized tank on this map, but it looks like it's just going to be that Stukov choke, and they don't want to deal with either of those heroes. Seems like kind of the standard bans that we've seen lately.
Yeah, Stukov, the area silence is really just so incredibly valuable, especially for being able to keep your opponents from getting those turn-ins, and just the area and the distance. It just makes for a very aggressive tool. Speaking of Diablo, though, first pick on the side of the One Tricks. So I actually meant to ask, are we playing with new Diablo?
Yes.
Which it sounds like we are.
This is, I have not seen anything about bans on the rework. Typically, it's only been 2-week bans on new heroes. So like Decker Kane didn't see play for 2 weeks, unfortunately, but now is showing up quite a bit. And actually, on that note, I don't think he's a high priority in draft. We typically see him fall into the later half, much like an Alex Straza. But I do think this is definitely a map where we could see that Decker Kane pop out. Now, the Diablo being grabbed here, I wonder if the blue team goes ahead and tries to take out or take away the Malfurion, because that does synergize so well. And then realistically, they could take like something like a Phoenix, which is great for wave clear and rotations very early. I think that's a strong start for their draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also being able to take away the Malfurion with the Stukov already banned takes out, what are considered the top 2 supports of the game, which is going to put the One Tricks in a very interesting scenario of perhaps they do pick up that Decker Kane, but definitely not as, I don't want to say OP, but not as strong as the Malfurion and Stukov are currently. So I think that's a great Garrosh Malfurion rotation pickup for the blue team.
I mean, the other thing, too, with Garrosh in this situation is that Diablo into Garrosh is typically considered very hard for the Diablo, because you Shadow Charge in, you are just opening yourself up to a toss further away from your team. It can still be played, well at the same time. I mean, they can toss you, and you just Shadow Charge right into them, and then you're pushing them into your team. And then the other thing that I was going to note really quickly is, the Decker Kane, I think, is a great choice. Alex Straza is also a very great choice in these rotations. The only thing that I was going to note is that the Decker Kane, I think, would synergize a little bit better with the Diablo, with the slow from the Heragic Cube, and then the Scroll of Identify just for a little bit more setup, as well as maybe a stun. So just or not a stun, but a root. So just a little extra lockdown might benefit them with that Diablo. But we'll see as this draft unfolds. They're going to go ahead and grab Kael'thas for their wave clear and Lucio for the boost in rotations, as well as the party heal.
Heck yeah, party heal Lucio. We don't get to see him too much these days. I really love picking up Lucio on maps that are, as you kind of alluded to, very heavy on the rotation. Being able to really bounce between those two turn-in points is so entirely crucial, as we talked about. Not to mention sound barrier for giving yourself a little bit of a boost during those team fights. So I'm hoping that, Lucio can give Diablo the support he needs, also in case, like you were saying, if he shadow charges in, accidentally gets the flip from Garrosh, able to assist in helping him retreat with a speed boost away. So that'll be an interesting combination to see. I'm trying to think of now, if I'm the blue team, what to ban. They're gonna end up banning Sonya, who's pretty good at wave clearing on this map, definitely. So pretty happy with that ban on that side.
Yeah, and it does pair well into their group. They basically are going to be looking for single target damage, something like maybe like a Greymane, or maybe even, I don't think they need poke damage. They could go into like a Junkrat. It's a little bit of range for them. But that Sonya for the solo lane is so strong. And at the same time, it combos well. I mean, you can take Leap. You can even take Wrath of Berserker. There's a lot of, versatility with that Sonya in that solo lane, and a lot of good gank that can come out from it too. But it's a little hard on the side for the one tricks to really look at this and say, like, knock one thing down. I personally would say take out the wave clear, take out something like a Gul'dan or a Jaina. Those two things would, I think actually the Jaina would synergize with the Garrosh very well here.
Yep. I was thinking about the Jaina too. You get someone flipped in, Jaina with the slows, keep you in longer, and then you have Malfurion for the roots just in case they're still trying to get away. Phoenix ban.
Oh, okay. They're afraid of the Warlord's Challenge, so the AoE taunt, and then Planet Cracker.
Oh, the taunt and the Planet Cracker.
And then even then,
definitely not a good time to be in.
And even then, you could pile Leoric on top of that, because both teams currently need a solo laner, and Leoric is a great pick on this map. But that is actually going to be the Jaina picked up. Look at the two we were just talking about. These are two great things. Now the Phoenix taken away, that does, take away that Planet Cracker, but there is still a Ring of Frost. There's snow being dumped onto you. Leoric with that Entomb has so much setup. Cat Peach, what do you think they kind of finish out their draft with here on the side of the one tricks?
Let me think. So I would like something to I'm trying to think. So Diablo, when he charges in, I do want kind of that follow-up damage I think that you were talking about before. You had mentioned the Greymane, but I think Tracer could potentially play a similar role to there. I wasn't going to necessarily go with Tracer. The Tracer Tassadar is I don't want to say older, because it still comes up every once in a while. Yeah. But I definitely wasn't going to expect that on the side of the one tricks.
Not at all. It's the sustained damage out from the Tracer is beneficial in these long rotations. It's just this, I guess not long rotations, but the back and forth you have between top and mid. But I do like it for that. The Tassadar will offer some vision in those rotations while Diablo will be anchoring. Actually, no. No, that Tassadar's for the solo lane? I'm now just like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, that's a 5-member rotation. They could, now it'd be hecka
stick as 5-man.
Hecka old school, because like when I played competitively, that was the rotation. You actually rotated top, bottom, and then you just did that. You just went all the way up and down. There wasn't a solo lane dedication and then mid top. That changed over time due to HCD and meta development. Still plausible. But then blinds into the Tracer.
Cassia.
I like it.
Cassia.
Argy Hots, thank you for coming by. Bahamut and Cat Peach casting hype.
What's going on, Argy?
Thanks for coming by.
Let me, I'm trying to think if I really love or really dislike the Cassia. I think I'm with you in that I really like it.
Mm-hmm. I think into the Tracer, it'll be beneficial. The Kathos, they're still going to have to worry about.
Oh yeah, that's if Cassia gets a little bit too eager to come in with those rapid dashes, she might be in for a bad time. But it's all about name of the game is positioning, and so this is really a test to see how well the blue team can actually do that. So I overall really do like the draft of the blue team, though. Like, even though I'm kind of like iffy on the Cassia still, I think that 4 group is just so entirely strong, and that the one tricks are potentially going to have a hard time trying to deal with that the flips, the roots, the everything. So
sustained damage and everything is just going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that we're going to have to find out here in just a second. But the other thing to note too, I don't know. I kind of like the wave clear a little bit better for the one tricks and their rotational advantage. It's just I'm curious about their solo lane situation. I really want to know what they're going to be doing for that.
Yeah, it's either like you kind of alluded to that Tassadar is for the off lane, or they're so dependent on getting picks early and often that they're kind of thinking second lane to the wave clear, which would be kind of weird, especially on a map with it being so important as Tomb. But it is what it is. We're gonna have to see how these teams play it out.
And let's get into it here as we have the blue team on the left with Narina going to be on that Cassia, Ember going to be on the Malfurion, Blizzard Hyrule going to be on the, oh boy, drawing a blank, Malfurion? Yes, Duke of Sky going to be on the Jaina, and Snag going to be on that Garrosh.
And on the red side, we have the One Tricks, Key playing Lucio, Sheej on Kael'thas, Linkin Park on Diablo, Mydra Init on Tracer, and Ross on Tassadar.
I instantly didn't pull into the right view. There we go. I hit the one key without holding control, and I just was like pulled into I think Garrosh right there or something. So, but let's go ahead and get into this. We currently just have a little brawl here in this mid lane. We do have that Leoric rotating into the bottom, but we're gonna see how this shapes out as my Indra Knight getting so low in response. Narina gonna almost die here, and that will be simultaneous first kills.
Woohoo! First kills all at the same time. I was about to say that's exactly what I was worried about with Cassie, is her trying to go in for those blinds, and then Diablo, charging in, throwing her potentially into her team. But Tracer kind of had the exact same problem. She can absolutely get too deep. Linkin Park, though, with a second kill a minute in, and I have a feeling this is going to be a bloodbath of a game at this rate.
I gotta say, I mean, with the kills that we're already having and the brawling too, there's typically we see a lot of teams they clear the lane and then they rotate next lane. They clear the lane, rotate. There isn't much brawling. You typically have the tank anchoring between the midpoint where you have the turn in, and not a whole lot of fighting. But here it looks like they're staying in lane. They're looking for fights. Also, we do have the Tracer coming down into bottom lane with Ross. I don't think Blizzard Hyrule knows this, and so they're actually trying to set up a flank here to try and peek at that while we do have still the brawl in between top and mid. Actually, Tracer going to go ahead and sneak the siege camp.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if the Tassadar or Tracer would be able to take down the entirety of Leoric, but her getting camped down there, very, very sneak-alike, is going to be quite the surprise for the blue team. It is interesting that, as you mentioned, both teams are really straight up kind of face-checking each other at all given points in time. It seems like the blue team is possibly really worried about that Lucio speed boost rotation and just trying to stay on top of that. And if you decide not to split off, you can always keep an eye on the enemy team if you're always following right behind them. So it kind of seems like that's what we're doing, and I'm not sure how that will play in the long run, but it's making for some interesting first few minute skirmishes for sure.
And that I'm just gonna say also just in the bottom lane, they're actually starting to push down Blizzard Hyrule down here, which is kind of interesting to me that they're letting the Tracer and the Tassadar get this much value, but Cassia will come down at this time, blinding both of them, fielding out as well, but I don't think they're going to be getting kills either way, and just back to rotations in between top and mid here as Snag going to get a nice toss onto Linkin Park, but that Shadow Charge we actually talked about in draft, where they just Shadow Charge out and say, all right, I'm kind of back to where you tossed me from, and I'm fine.
Right, and then just kind of reset after that, kind of tap up on health and keep going there. The blue team is closer in terms of gems at this current moment in time, which is really great for them. It does seem like, though, I wonder how they'll be able to deal with, Blizzard Hero barely getting out. Skeleton King will live another day. I'm wondering if the One Tricks are so focused on just getting, macro pressure with, early camps and things like that, that it's when the blue team is responding to that they use that opportunity to gather gems that they need. But we're going to have to see. Tassadar still hanging out in that bottom lane, doing what Tassadar does, clearing waves. we're going to see Tracer come here and give Ember a little bit of a scare. Nothing too major. Because both teams seem to really want to turn in, but neither allowing either to get that.
The poke will be coming out from the members of One Tricks as they do have the availability for that turn in. We have Snag gonna go ahead and get a nice combo there, but the root not connecting on to the Tracer in time for any sort of follow up. Meanwhile, though, in bottom lane, Ross is gonna get pushed in a little bit here. Leorc's starting to get some momentum here and also start to hold over this lane fairly well. And wonder how that Tassadar would do as we have a huge blow up onto the Tracer in mid. There will be the recall onto the roots. No follow up as it looks like the members of the blue team will be getting the first Webweaver turn in.
Yeah, and Tracer did end up using the Pulse Bomb there, which didn't get to take out the Jaina entirely, but did have her retreat for quite a bit. But that is one tool that they're not going to have, as they go into defending this Webweaver phase. I'm hoping within the next few minutes, I'm trying to think of what the big goals for the blue team are. What is the minimum that they want to get away with? What do you think?
I mean, at this point, pushing into the top lane. Ooh, actually a toss onto Tracer here. A little bit undominable, actually, against be popped. Sevens, though, also achieved for the members of the blue team. Top lane, I like this. This is exactly what I was about to talk about. They still have their solo laner, Leorc, and bottom. Going to push that out. But top lane is the priority. You can definitely... Ooh, a root coming out. We have the toss onto Tracer. Blinks out. A big deal. But they'll just be able to get boss pressure later in the game. You can stack bosses with the Webweaver turn in as well. So there's just a lot of good play that you can get in this top lane. And I like that they're prioritizing it here. It is going to get cleared out. They got... I'm hoping for the front gate here. They can open this up a little bit, maybe take out that well, get rid of their sustain in the rotations. But at this point, they're going to defend it fairly well on the side of the One Tricks. And even then, they're not going to give too much over in mid. And bottom didn't lose too much as well.
Yeah, I'm realizing now, the more I see this composition play out on the side of One Tricks, of how simply annoying it must be for the blue team, where you're always constantly worried about that Tracer popping in the back or worried about spreading that living bomb. You can't really go too hard in on a really big push without a really clear advantage. Linkin Park getting right in the middle of things, Shadow Charge, but he's going to back up. Can charge a little bit, although Tracer wanting more. Not too much. Both teams looking like they're about to reset here. Again, I'm really liking these tests of who wants to keep this going longer than the next, who wants to maybe overcommit a little bit. And it seems like both teams are trying to bait the other out into making the play that they're actually not ready for. And it's really exciting to see, Tracer being able to recall when appropriate. But I'm about to eat my words as Tracer ends up going down and losing quite a significant amount of gems in the process.
That, and the other thing too to note is that there are untouchable stacks on that Tracer, so whatever that there were are completely gone at this point. So that is something that they're going to kind of need to work back. The other thing too is the blue team now has 10s achieved, so they tried to take that fight pre-10 so that maybe they get some sort of advantage to try and push them back. But now that they have this heroic advantage, I'm wondering if they're going to be able to push in a little hard here. They're not going to press the advantage as they do have enough for turn in, but they do want to deny the members of the One Tricks from getting that turn in as well, and descending Webweavers to really just interrupt their momentum on the blue team.
Yes, the One Tricks did such a great job defending last time around that I feel it might be in their best interest in order to help kind of with gaining on this level deficit that they're on right now. Getting a camp, maybe two if you're really feeling lucky, and trying to at least get some other pressure elsewhere to help make up for that experience and kind of like give the Webweaver phase away. Because it seemed like they were able to clear that out pretty quickly. And so if they can cause the blue team to kind of waste their gems on a push that doesn't get a lot out, that's even, more gems next time around. But they do end up getting their own turn in. And so it's their turn now that they have level 10. To show the blue team what they got. Are they going to get a pick themselves? Will they play conservatively? We'll have to see how much they are willing to dive in and try to get a pick, maybe two, and see how much they can capitalize on this Webweaver.
That is the thing, is trying to capitalize as much as you can during this time. The lanes are so far pushed back that is a little difficult in this situation to get the value that you're looking for, as the web weavers in top lane are already going to be burned down. Domino going to be used on the Garrosh there. The top lane, it's already gone. They have no pressure from that. Mid lane is just now crashing. They do have the toss coming out from Snag here. A lot of blow up going to be going on to Duke of Sky. They actually get the friendly toss, but it actually lands onto the Apocalypse, as the Valkyrie will be coming up, pulling the Diablo further away from the friendly team. Ring going to be connecting in a couple members, but no follow-up damage. Pulse Bomb not going to be connecting. Linkin Park in a bad spot here, going to get killed by the Twilight Dream. Losing those souls is going to be back up already, and Tracer going to be dying as well, going to lose any untouchable stacks, if any. Force Wall coming out, but at this point, they get a little value from their web weavers, but they end up losing 2 members on the side of with the One Tricks.
Yeah, that is, when we talked about how greedy they were going to get with trying to get those picks, that kind of shows it. They were definitely in a really awkward choke point in there as well. And so trying to position, get around Linkin Park, Diablo does have a really big character model. It's hard to get around him sometimes. But also, like, the overlap with the Ring of Frost and the Phoenix was really interesting. Because even if the Ring of Frost did catch any of the members of the blue team with the Phoenix there, it kind of dissuades you to even attempt to capitalize on that. So whether or not that was strategically planned or simply an accident on the side of the blue team, I think it was a very interesting way of defending that situation.
It definitely did kind of choke it out, separate some of the team members. Maybe a couple had to back off here as they get the toss into Linkin Park. Going to get the charge out. There will be the Entomb out from Leoric at this time. Going to go ahead and get the Wraith walk out with the Valkyrie not connecting, but there will be a double taunt going out. Ring of Frost going to connect onto the Tassadar. Break It Down going to be used as well. Snag going to be popping the Indomitable, but the Leoric will be falling to that Tracer with just a couple hundred health just above them, and this Web Weaver is going to start barreling down these lanes. Tracer needing to clear this top, and not having a whole lot of health, needs to play this extremely safe. That will be a free top lane keep, top lane fort going, and a toss going to be going out, and Tassadar will be falling, Cat Peach.
Oh, geez. And we see also the bottom lane rapidly going down. And this is a really fantastic push on the side of the blue team. They're getting so much out of this phase, not just with the kill on Tassadar. They got 2 Strexers down, and they're already, I don't mean to say already, but they currently are 2 levels ahead of the One Trick. So right now, everything's going in their favor. They still have 5 seconds before Tassadar comes up. Tracer's in the top lane, and they're going to keep pushing and see how much they can get, maybe see how far into 16 they can get before the One Tricks even think about responding to this, which is, again, a very dangerous situation for them. If the blue team hits level 16 during the next team fight, the One Tricks will have to really quickly retreat, or else we're going to see that kind of team fight go the exact same way as that level 13 team fight a couple minutes ago.
Exactly. Going from there, too, this is kind of the time they need to fight. This is the even advantage, if you will. The other thing, too, is they don't need many more gems on the side of the blue team to get... Oh, my God. The Ice Block... The Ice Block coming out. It wasn't enough. Break It Down going to be used as well. So many abilities are going to be popped at this point, and a lot of cooldowns going to be burned. But actually, 2 deaths on the side of the blue team, and I was just about to note that they have enough for turn-in. I love this play from the One Tricks. It was so smart to go ahead and say, deny turn-in, get a kill. They're not 16, and they caught one of the members out of position and followed up with a second. Now they get boss. They're going to have a nice top lane push here. Yeah,
that was... as brief as that window was, we always talk about how important it is to capitalize on the window that you do have, no matter how big, no matter how small. And so the One Trick's coming in and saying, we have one opportunity, or else this is going to keep snowballing against our favor. Being able to get the kill on Garrosh was huge. Being able to make sure they lose a bunch of gems. Now grabbing the boss, this is starting to come around. So I think they're starting to realize kind of the strength in that rotation to help get those picks, rather than trying to face these team fights, directly head on mid lane or chase a little bit too soon, and trying to find the right opportunities to get those small wins. And small wins build up over time, and we see them now 1 level away from their opponents. 16 will be coming soon. They're going to go clear out that camp in mid, and they have an opportunity to turn in themselves. So we're going to have to see if they're able to get it in time.
No, getting the waves cleared out, getting this. I mean, they've basically kind of reset the waves. 16. They know that they need to take this. Ross getting interrupted. Ross is the only one with gems to turn in, and the Entomb will come out. The Force Wall just to block this off. Phoenix going to be there. The Apocalypse will be underneath a few. Diablo getting the Shadow Charge in. There will be the Phoenix out as well, or the Valkyrie as well. There will be also the Ring of Frost. So many members getting so low here. Diablo going to be falling. There is also going to be the Cassia falling as well. And it like the stun will be there, and Tracer will be the next one to go. Doesn't look too good. That will be the toss. Jaina actually getting juked there. Ice Block going to be coming out, and that will be the Kael'thas falling. They deny the turn-in. They get a 4-member wipe, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see them pressure up for a keep.
Yeah, they can absolutely get, if not the whole keep, at least a lot of pressure onto this keep. And as we were talking about before, the One Tricks didn't entirely push out all the lanes. That bottom lane, right before that team fight, was still like pretty pushed in. And so now the blue team being able to capitalize on that. And again, we still have, Tracer with that untouchable, I think, with every single death, that gets reset. And so every time that she gets taken down, it's a huge blow on the side of the One Trick. So we're going to have to see how they end up dealing with that going forward. Perhaps, she is being extremely aggressive, which she should be. But the blue team just entirely know how to handle it with the roots, with Cassie and her blinds. They just have a lot of tools to be able to deal with that. And so I'm trying to think of a world, in what world does the One Tricks turn this around and start taking structures of their own? Because they've only got a little bit of damage on the blue team's mid-fort. But right now they just have to worry about defending. Soak a little bit, defend, be very cautious, and try not to give too much over to their opponent.
I'm just trying to, you noted that, because this is just going to be, web of your push, it looks like it's just going to be cleared out. They're going to try and pressure up this as much as they can, but what they need to do to get this back, I mean, realistically, they need to take a good fight, they need to get a couple picks and get a turn in themselves. They need momentum. On a map like this, momentum is key, and it looks like you can already see they've got the bottom web weaver. It's fairly far back in the lane, but they can go ahead and prep this, get the push onto this keep. They saw that the members were in top. They're just going to rotate down, get the clear onto this. That will be not a free keep, actually. I thought they were going to be going in for that. But they do have the web weaver that is now approaching the lane. That should be able to confirm it, whether they're there or not. We'll see here in just a second. But actually, Phoenix is going to be used for it as well. They're trying to burn everything. They want to make sure they do not have catapult pressure in any single lane. And I guess, yeah, burn the Phoenix if it definitely zones them away and it denies them any sort of keep destruction.
Yeah, this will actually, I think, give us the first opportunity where we might get a Ring of Frost without the Phoenix. And so if a fight plays out very, very soon before that cooldown has reset, I'm curious how that will play out, because the two have sort of been canceling each other out this entire match. And so to have one and not the other, I kind of just want them to fight because I want to see how the blue team will capitalize on that. But we're going to see both teams kind of spread off on the map for now. It looks like the blue team will take their own camp on their side. Again, with that pressure, they don't necessarily need to worry about the bottom lane right now unless they really, really want to. But I think for now, they're just trying to prevent One Tricks from getting a turn-in. Tracer able to recall out, thankfully. Ring of Frost is going to come down. She's looking really low, and he is going to go down.
That is going to be a force wall that does block them for a second, but you cannot stop the Ghost as the Wraithwalk will be continuing. They're going to use that the cooldown reduction there just to keep doing it. But so many fights are actually breaking out across this map as Diablo's going to be walking away. There's a chase up in this top lane. Blizzard Hyrule is going to get poked down by Tracer here. I'm curious to see how that pans out, but it looks like they tried to chase on the side of the blue team, and the One Tricks were able to get away. They got a Web Weaver turn-in phase, and really that's just going to amount to a lot of just kind of pause in the fight. It's going to allow Kael'thas to come back, cooldowns to be brought back. The toss is going to go out onto the Tracer to make sure that they do not get any sort of poke there. There is actually a lot of damage going to be going out into them. Recall going to be used into the same spot. But
those roots will do that to you.
sometimes you got to recall just in case.
Right, just in case, just to give you a little time off the map. So this puts the One Tricks in a really interesting situation where I want to see what... The taunt goes down on Lincoln Park, and he's surrounded by 4 members of the blue team. Valkyrie does come out, but Diablo has already passed by the time it attempts to land. And that is 22 gems gone on the side of the One Tricks. I was going to say the name of the game after this Web Weaver phase, since the One Tricks Didn't necessarily get a ton out of it. They did get a fort down in the bottom lane, which is really excellent. And we do see them still pushing in the mid lane. But the name of the game now, Leoric goes down. That's also a win in their favor. I was going to say, I really want them to just simply play the cautious poke game and not try to get too much too soon. They have a lot to make up for in terms of when they're able to get their next turn in. And so long as they can prevent the blue team from getting too many gems turned in themselves, they possibly could stall out until they're even level 20 and then try to take a fight again and get a couple more kills, then clear some lanes, get their own turn in, and really push now in that bottom lane, which is starting to get pushed more onto the side of the blue team, which is great for the One Tricks. I think this is the most pushed out in their favor the lanes have been all game.
And having that will allow them just to rotate safer here. It also gives them some distance to retreat and also pressure harder into the members of the blue team. And it looks like at this point, it's a little bit of a stalemate. The blue team not sure, or maybe not sure. They're maybe looking for some sort of 20 advantage fight because they've got to take it now. There's, 19.5 is on the side of the One Tricks. They're going to go ahead and grab the siege camp in bottom lane, which will pressure that well, noting exactly what you had said before, stacking that up. They should be able to get that clear. Gem-wise, it's starting to look close for at least the members of the blue team here, but there's still a little bit of ways away here. Magda might get caught out. Double toss going to go out. Double stun. Valkyrie going to be there as well. A huge ring going to come out. There is going to be the Entomb separating the teams from each other. There will be the Shadow Charge onto the Garrosh, and that will be the kill onto the tank of the blue team. And it looks like they might try and just turn in. No, they're going to back right out of there. And at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised to see if they just rush boss, because that is the advantage they need in this game. Not looking like it's going to happen.
Yeah, it looks like there might be some, not miscommunication, but maybe a little bit of indecisiveness, about whether or not they did want to do that, or if they wanted to continue to defend turn in. That fight, taking that fight in that choke point was a really interesting decision for the one team. As much as it's great to be able to, flip targets into you and maybe try to zone them out, it can quickly be turned around the other way as well. And we kind of saw the blue team get punished for that in the long run. Boss going to be taken on the side of the One Tricks. The rest of the members of the blue team going to go back, likely going to defend that. And at this point, the One Tricks, I would think, need to either push hard with this and possibly try to end game, while Garrosh is, he's still down. He did just come back up, so if they can get another pick before he's with the rest of his team, that will be excellent, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. My other suggestion would be simply clear as fast as you can. Ooh, both circles coming out. Flips going off left and right. The sound barrier did come out. Cassia is going to fall. Then Tube did come out. Blizzard Haru kind of in the front of everything, trying to back off, but Tracer is not making that easy.
That's actually going to be the kill under the Leoric, as Ember is going to be the next target for my Angel Knight there. And it actually looks like they go ahead, they get the Storm Shield and the heal. It looks like they might be able to end with this. Cassia down, Boss at a third of its health. There's a possibility for it. We'll have to see how this plays out, as it looks like the Apocalypse will be coming out as well. Jaina taking so much damage, the Ice Block will be there as well. I think the break it down came out from the Lucio on top of that. Boss already working on this core, the shielding falling down. Ember, really one of the only few left. Looks like Snag is going to be coming out of the Nexus, and we have the Ice Block out from Ember, but it is going to be the core falling, and that's going to be game number 1 going over to the One Tricks. GG, well played.
That was a really all-in call from the One Tricks. But you could, if the teams wanted to do something special, again, it's the end of the season. Why not have a little fun with it if you can?
I mean, to be honest, I think this is actually, I definitely think you bring Probius here. And let me just, because we got a little bit of time where we'll go through bans, and we don't have to talk about standard bans, but really quickly, I will update Twitch chat so you guys do know kind of what's going on. This is game 2. The blue team won the coin flip, and they banned out Cursed Hollow. Infernal Strands was banned out by the One Tricks. Tomb of the Spider Queen was chosen by the blue team and actually won by the One Tricks. This is the One Tricks map of choice, Towers of Doom. Let's get into this. So, Probius on this map, I definitely think is completely viable. I 100% think it is, because the poke damage that can come out is absolutely phenomenal. It's just setting up around the shrines, or the altars. That's the big thing. It's much like Gazlow's played a lot here, and that's because Gazlow has setup. And if you have poke and just annoyance, it's one of those things that, like, I definitely think you can play it. And if some teams are caught off guard by that mechanic and they're not prepared for it, I 100% think it's playable. Then at the same time, you can totally just obliterate a Probius because there is a very small health pool. But at the same time, they're nimble and quick, so it's really down to the player at that point. Also, really quickly, as I lost my stream labels, Snug Team, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate that. But yeah, let's get into this. Blue team going to be having the first pick here. What do you go into?
First pick, you banned out a Genji, which doesn't really, I think, give us too much to work with there. I mean, they honestly, Garrosh had some really good moments last game, and I think I'm always a fan of sticking, like, get your kind of main tank or your support as early as possible. If they're going to take Garrosh again, I would like to see that now. Or if they're going to switch to something else that, you know, it might be the Diablo. So long as it's still kind of a standard tank in this current meta, going with that. I wouldn't want to see, like, pulling out the ETC so far. We're just going to go with Ana first pick.
That's the way to start a draft.
Not?
That is definitely the way to start a draft, is just like, yeah, you know what? We're going to open with Ana.
Now how about this? Nano boosted Probius.
Cho'Gall. It's Cho'Gall. Cho'Gall coming. Or ban. It's like, so, Stim Drone, Cho'Gall.
Yep. Very awful to deal with. That is a Hulk beast that is now powered up. You don't want to deal with that.
And then, honestly, no, I was like, it's a stretch then, but you play Probius then.
Yeah, Nano. I was thinking, like, what if you nano boost the Probius and have this, like, little tiny robot being like bleep bleep boop really fast and aggressively? That would be
just all of the oh god, what is it? The detonation spheres? No, that's not right. What is the
warp?
Whoa! They took it themselves.
Cho'Gall being taken away. Oh well, this is getting really interesting.
Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your dog, tell your cat. We have a Cho'Gall Ana game, and they're versus each other. It's not even on the same team.
Ooh, my! Oh golly, they. Now here's the thing: when you're confident enough to say they're likely going to pick a Cho'Gall, so we're gonna take it from them. You have to be confident in your own Cho'Gall play. Yeah. But also the fact that you've now taken this and your 1-2 is leaving you with, like, a very slim number of options of what you're going to run with next. And so I don't know if that was necessarily the best decision for the one trick to pull that away.
Personally, no.
Or if they should have said, all right, we know they're going with the Cho'Gall, so let's pick some really strong, counter picks really early on in the game rather than focusing on the more generic type of heroes. Whew! Tychus and Johanna on the side of the blue team now. Tychus, obviously there, hopefully to punish that Cho'Gall a little bit.
So, you have to ban the Malthael, right?
Yes.
Because it's Stim Drone Malthael into a Cho'Gall. No day of the week do I want to take that fight.
And there it is.
And there it is.
They're thinking the same thing. Ooh, golly. So do we see, when I'm thinking of specifically like supports for the one trick, I know back in the day, it was very, I mean, still kind of is, the Ariel pick, you know, kind of being the go-to. You crown the Cho'Gall, get a lot of hope generated all the time. Do you think that we're going to see an Ariel ban right now?
An Ariel ban wouldn't be horrible. The other thing to consider too would be, oh boy, Rhaegar. And Sister healing, the second health bar that you can basically put on Cho'Gall is absolutely insane. So it's either or in my opinion, because I definitely think both are viable to play into the Cho'Gall.
Yeah. On that note too, Lifebinder from Alex Draza.
That is something that we have joked about in the two. Oh my god! Sorry, just quickly twitch it. The 200 IQ counter pick.
It got you.
They're actually going to go ahead and take out Leoric here, which would benefit them in their solo lane, which is actually a little confusing to me. Spectral Leech into Cho'Gall with the health pool that large.
Yeah,
maybe we're gonna see something special for the solo lane because we've already got an Ana.
All the notes, everything's out the window at this point. There's no telling what we're gonna see next. Are we gonna see a Vikings?
I'm just like, are you gonna Cho'Gall Ariel Sergeant Hammer? Like, are you gonna do something ridiculous and then just be like, yeah, and then we'll just like play it safe with like a Blaze in the solo lane or like something like that? Like, we'll just do
one normal pick on a team of really strange ones.
Yeah, exactly. That is gonna be the Ariel. I mean, it makes sense with. Straza pick for Lifebinder easy. Yeah, no, Skygam's saying exactly that. But no, actually there's a Twitch clip somewhere. I think there's someone I play Team League with here in their Kriv, and he actually loves Lifebinder, and he had like this god Lifebinder save on their tank. Like I have to find the clip and show it to you. It's absolutely amazing. Like, or if Rag's in chat or Kriv's in chat, like definitely dump that link. Like it's a good one. But we actually okay. It was in the back of my mind. It was in the back of my mind. I was like, Stim Drone Asmodan, not Stim.
Nano boost.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just the other boost that you can get in the game.
Yeah, the booster.
The nano boost into the Asmodan, technically you can get 2 globes off, which like that doesn't sound like a lot, but at the same time, late game, that is a whole lot of damage. That can be like 2k damage and it almost instantaneous dumped on your head. Li Ming, her blink range isn't the best. Like I've got Li Mings that are just like, oh, blink out of this, and it's just like he can't run.
That's what you think, especially with the new Barak, right? Like being able to burrow right after you. Not necessarily the safest strat to bet on. But yeah, I think we could say you're our resident Asmodan experts. How does that team play out in the long run?
I mean, at this point, the way that it looks like they could go in. Jesus!
I joked about it, but it happened. Last Vikings, last pick. Let's go, One Tricks.
Everybody.
Wow. So
everybody.
there are.
Somebody in NGS chat, like somebody in NGS, please like spam general or something like that about this, because this is ridiculous.
Please.
Now you have to go. So at this point, you have to go Taste for Blood, the stacking off the last Vikings, because you get, I think it's 10 off of a kill of a hero. You can just sit there and stack off Last Vikings all day, and then like stack up. You can because the biggest thing for a lot of Asmodan players, like it's getting those stacks to be more beneficial than the sieging Rast stacks that are quite easy to get, and so you get extended range and some damage. But once you get past like 200 or so, I think like you start to just blow up people with the Dunk Blackpool combination. But they could go laser, and then I'll just turn off stream.
And then I'll quit and then move to the mountains.
Exactly.
Well, you already live in the mountains, so
I already did that one.
That part covered.
But I do gotta say, I do love the Lost Vikings here. I think it's a great way to just sit there and soak up the lanes, because they're gonna basically run the Cho'Gall, Li Ming, Ariel as just a run around kill people comp. But let's find out how they play it here as we get into this extremely interesting game. The blue team on the left, we are going to be having Blizzard Hyrule going to be on the Nubrak, Ember going to be on the Ana, we have Snag going to be on that Joanna, Duke of Sky going to be on the Tychus, and Arena going to be on the Asmodan.
And on the red side, we do have the One Tricks. We have Lincoln Park running the Lost Vikings. Sheej is going to be on Li Ming, and then we have the combination of Mydra and Ross playing the Cho'Gall, and we got Key rocking the Ariel.
Let's get into this as they're gonna go ahead and rotate top with their Cho'Gall off the bat here. Just really quickly, they're just like, oh yeah, just spamming, looking for teams.
This is, I don't even know what to predict. I don't even know how to process this. One Trick's just gonna go full on top lane, push as much as they can out there. I was gonna say, we were talking about the Lost Vikings pick. It does make sense to pick up a character who's 3 characters when you have a character that is 2 and taking up 1 body. So you've now kind of
evened it up in a sense.
That loss of a man with a couple extra bodies on the field. And so, they should just be thankful that no one on the opposite team has any kind of resets.
Maybe.
We're both just like, what is going to play out right now?
I'm just not like, I can't call anything because I'm just like, it goes like These drafts are the hardest, and actually, so just to actually speak about some of the level 1 talents here. Actually, Blizzard Hyrule going to get healed by Ember there. Whoo, just so close. But we do have that Asmodean going into that Taste for Blood at level 1. They're going to be going ahead and stacking up those minions and also trying to get dunks on some of these heroes, as we do have those rotations through mid and bottom. So it is going to be a full build. But the sleep coming out from Ember, they're just trying to slow down this top push as they are just consistently pushing into this, and they are going to take an early fort and then just continue to get some huge experience value while they have the Vikings still soaking lanes, as they're going to hold this over. They really can't do too much on the side of the blue team.
Yeah, the blue team's going to have to start rotating members up if they're going to want to stop One Tricks from taking down that top tower. But at the same time, then you start losing out on that soak, right? We already see the One Tricks getting a bit of an advantage there. And so yeah, the blue team has to be on top of the Vikings, making sure they can't soak as much as they would like to. But at the same time, need to soak themselves and can't just keep babysitting, the members of One Trick. And so this is really tricky. And we saw how far that top lane push went for the One Tricks. They almost have that first tower down. And we're not even 3 minutes into the game. So there's a lot, I think, for the blue team to be extremely concerned about here. And so we're going to have to see how they want to take this first altar phase going into this incredible Towers of Doom game.
And with that, they're going to have that first tower down. That's going to be 5 shots available for the members of the One Tricks. And the thing is, if they stay and try and get the burn, they'll lose all 3 of these altars taking 15 shots. So they're going to have to go ahead and give over what looks like it's going to be confirmed, at least with on the right-hand side. We do have that little Eric going to go ahead and get the capture on that. No one collecting bottom yet. Asmodean going to get some dunks in. Nuka Sky going to get the capture at this time. 5 shots going over to the core of the blue team here, as it looks like they will be taking 3 on the side of the One Tricks. Viking already postured up to go ahead and capture this bottom one, and that will be another 5 shots going over in favor for the members of the One Tricks. And I gotta say, 10 points this early, this isn't something you typically see. It's usually, it's usually 32 to 36 or something like that, but not like this. 30 to 37, probably the most interesting Towers of Doom game that I've casted this entire season.
Not today, says One Tricks. They're gonna show us that they are more than One Trick. They are simply a combination of One Tricks, I think is what they say about themselves. All right, so blue team gonna recover this top bell tower, hopefully not lose any more before the next altar phase. These little Vikings going to run away as they get harassed in the mid lane, and we again see this 4-man rotation now focusing on the bottom lane and giving the side of the blue team a very hard time. The members of the blue team have to respond sooner this time than last time. We saw the One Tricks get away with so much, and only with Ana and I believe a Nubarak to respond. So they really need to keep an eye on that rotation and try to prevent them from getting too much structure-wise. I don't know if they'll be able to get a kill on that necessarily very easily, and I don't think that's the focus. I think simply preventing them from getting down your structures, since they can chunk those down so quickly, will be key for them.
This is so interesting because they actually left top. There's still a Viking up there. They haven't recovered top on the side of the blue team. So, working this bottom lane down for so long, that actually forced that rotation. And we still have Baylog in the top lane just clearing this without a problem. Meanwhile, we have Eric and Olaf in mid getting the soak on this. They're already, they're continuing to stack up their regen globe as well and just continue to have more sustain and just the experience. Like, this is the Viking play that you want. You want someone to be soaking the lane, but it looks like they might lose their Olaf in this mid. Even then, though, it looks like they're going to go ahead. Eric will go ahead and grab this altar. That's 5 more shots going over in their favor. A bottom is going to be grabbed by the Ana in time. They aren't able to delay it out. Dunk going to be coming out from the Asmodean, currently sitting at 176 stacks. So Blackpool not even available yet, and they're already going to be doing quite a bit of damage into these lanes. Meanwhile, though, once again, they need to take this back. It's starting to really hurt them as they're sitting at 25 core health on the side of the blue team.
Yeah, as you said, this is just going to hurt more and more the longer that this experience lead for the side of the One Tricks goes on. I think the blue team were hoping that the minions were going to help finish that top tower earlier. But then when, I always forget which Viking is which, but when one of the Vikings came up and started assisting with that, that blew that out of the water. And so they have to always assume a Viking is going to come and help that little minion wave, no matter how little, and ruin any kind of plan they had for things like that. We see the pull-in on Ember from that Cho'Gall, and Ana is gonna go down on that fight, and we're gonna see the One Tricks grab this camp on the side of the blue team, which should help them. I'm gonna guess they're gonna want to take down this bottom fort now that they lost the top one.
Exactly. They're gonna want to have 5 shots available for them during the next altar phase, which will be a single altar phase. They're gonna be diving in here. Duke of Sky gonna have to go ahead and get the dash out, as it looks like they go ahead and they will be grabbing this bottom. Just sieged with those B steps, and then getting hit by the tower and having to run away right away too. Just like, oh wait, no, I came out too far. That's gonna be bottom lane going over. We do have Linkin Park spreading the Vikings across these lanes just to make sure they continue this experience. So the thing is, 10s are going to be achieved. They're going to have this even talent tier fight, and also Cho'Gall is going to be down heroics. They got to go in for this now.
Yeah, they have to go in right now. We see the members of the blue team converging, still being careful. They know that Cho'Gall does have vision to put out. Cho'Gall going and trying to make something happen. Cocoon goes down on Cho'Gall. That is 2 people down. This is the moment that blue team can absolutely capitalize. Stasis goes out on Ariel. She's going to end up backing away. We're going to see if they can end up getting her down or not.
No Blackpool out, but they're going to go ahead and get the Ariel kill with the Blizzard Hyrule. We actually have the pull in from the Cho'Gall. We also have the Twilight Twisting Nether, and that will be the kill. Upheaval trying to pull them in, and the Twisting Nether for the combo, but it did not work out. Siege not able to get any sort of blow up onto that. But here's the thing. Meanwhile, Eric is going to be dying, as it looks like they're going to go ahead and continue to push up these lanes. So the Vikings still getting value during all this. Though I will note that those couple kills definitely gave over some advantage experience-wise in favor for the members of the blue team, as it looks like they're trying to poke this out, delay it up as long as possible, as the Cho'Gall and Ariel will be coming back momentarily.
Yeah, the Lost Vikings are absolutely doing a great job on keeping all these lanes pushed back as far as possible. I was going to say as safely as possible, but I'm not even going to say that. We saw the Vikings like right at the gate of the blue team's fort earlier, and so they're just going all in, keeping those pushed back, which is going to make it really easy for the One Tricks to get these camps and push them in really fast, really quickly, and, you know, cause really immediate threats on the side of the blue team. You know, it doesn't look like the blue team is panicking too much yet, and like you mentioned, that last altar capture that they got was absolutely valuable. We see Olaf go down, but we'll see you soon, little buddy. And they just need to start playing things, I don't want to say slowly. The cocoon on the Cho'Gall comes out again. That is so clutch. Stasis going out onto Li Ming, but that doesn't prevent her from getting dunked.
Get dunked on Li Ming. Cho'Gall gonna go ahead and say, let's get this fort, and they're still going to have it alive with 162 health, so not able to confirm the fort just yet. That is a huge advantage for the members of the blue team, as it looks like this Cho'Gall will not be living. They're gonna go ahead and try and use the Twisting Nether. Unstoppable gonna be used. The push is there, but it's not enough. That is the Cho'Gall killed. Meanwhile, though, we do have Eric in bottom lane pushing this in, trying to get this fort converted, so at least they don't take too much damage during this next altar phase, because this should be 2 altars in favor for the members of the blue team, as it looks like get dunked on Eric. That is going to be another few stacks for Asmodan, sitting at 312 at this point. You see them going over for this altar. They're going to want to delay this out as quickly as possible. Li Ming going to be trying to do that as well. Just the B-steps coming out, as they're going to have Duke of Sky and Ember finishing out the boss. That's going to be 4 shots in their favor. They're going to go ahead and grab this, Yeah,
the blue team absolutely knows how to capitalize on, you know, what small or big advantages they do have. The fact that they have that cocoon now online to be able to help with this Cho'Gall and help get members low, kill a couple members on the side of the One Tricks. Blizzard Hero looking a bit iffy. He's gonna burrow away. But yeah, now that the tools are coming online on the side of the blue team, and they have these, things like Cocoon to help them deal with that Cho'Gall, I think this is gonna start very heavily swaying in their favor. Given that they were going to pick the Cho'Gall, I assume that they absolutely know how to deal with it. The Anubarak pick into that was likely a response to that steal. And so I really like, they were able to take the boss while they had the advantage and are starting to, get ahead in terms of core shots, which I love. So let's hope they can keep up the momentum and keep giving the One Tricks a run for their money.
I'd really just like this game to go to like 1-1 because I just want this game to be as long as possible, to be honest. We have a dunk coming out from Asmodee, just going to be trying to poke at these members and still just trying to push down these lanes, sitting at 380 stacks currently. Rotation going to be coming out from Lincoln Park at this time. Who doesn't look like they're going to be getting the Eric as they're going back to these just rotations as Olaf going to get dunked on. Lane going to be pushed up here. Now, at the same time, in top lane, we're going to be having that Baylog trying to push this up. Maybe they're going to be looking with the Asmodee. We do have the Blackpool used. They get the insta-clear, and also taking Lincoln Park down to almost half health on the Baylog there, but it looks like camps almost simultaneously picked up for these members as we have a triple altar phase starting in 22 seconds.
I was just thinking how much I would love a little siren for every time Asmodee was able to dunk on a Viking. Like some kind of like very specifically that scenario. And we saw how much damage the dunks do on the Vikings, and they have to constantly be fearing for that at this point. Especially as those stacks build up, that damage increases. Altar phase up. We're seeing quite the skirmish down on bottom over that altar. This should be an easy altar, or maybe not, given these two Vikings are harassing. But this bottom altar seems like the life of the party right now, where we have 4-on-4, even though it looks like 4-on-3, over this here. This is really important for the blue team because they only have 2 shots of their own, and so it's going to hit hard if the One Tricks end up taking this from them.
The other thing to note is that 3 sappers just went into the core on the side of the blue team, so they had that going through top lane. Looks like the 2 Vikings in top lane are going to go ahead and just confirm those 5 shots as well as they move in on this fight. The upheaval is going to pull them in. There is going to be the cocoon, and they're going to start to focus on the Arya, who gets dunked on. And she's going to get hit and kill. Ooh. Dunk going out. They're just poking at this. At this time, though, they take 10 shots. Actually, excuse me. Members of the blue team take 13 shots during that phase, but are going to go ahead and actually stall this out. Try and get this converted in their favor so they can at least get extra damage onto the core of the One Tricks here. It's a smart play, as it looks like they have the Asmodee going into the top lane. Maybe going to try and convert that bell tower as well. Maybe even make it 5 of their own.
If they're able to make it 5 of their own, that would be Lincoln Park. Eric stuck around too long. There we go. Yep, just as you said, Asmodee going to go take that top tower back. That's going to make the blue team be able to breathe so much easier in this game. It started out really rough for them. They're starting to equal out now on core damage versus the One Tricks. And as for Cho'Gall, they weren't able to come in and really deal with that at all with, missing the Ariel, missing the Li Ming, and all he can really do is watch from the sidelines. So now we're at 12 and 14. Quest finally completed on the side of Asmodee, Taste for Blood. So that is going to give even more damage over on the side of his dunks on those Vikings. At this point, he should be able to one-shot them, right? I would think.
With Blackpool, I definitely do believe he one-shots a Viking here, but that is going to be bottom bell tower converted over. Do we see the dunk on the Lincoln Park? Blind dunk? No. They will be rotating up. But let's find out here, as it looks like we do have a dunk that was without Blackpool, and it took them down to about half health. So yeah, I'd say with the Blackpool, you're one-shotting Vikings. So definitely do not want to allow them to stay too close together, as we actually have the dive into mid. We do have the jump coming out. Dunk is there, but guess what? Tyka stole the kill.
I am so happy to see the blue team take control of this situation. They are now giving the One Tricks a little bit of a taste of their own medicine from before, just pressuring every single lane, pressuring those keeps. That was a beautiful pull-in from Cho'Gall. Eric's going to go down, and so is Li Ming, though. That pull-in seemed to have backfired as blue team quickly turned around and said, you want to fight? We're here to give it.
Oh, they go ahead and they get the Ariel, they get the Li Ming. They're going to go ahead and work their way onto the Cho'Gall. Dunk's coming out here, but it looks like the Vikings are going to come in for this fight, and they are going to be... this is... Okay, the Vikings are going to go ahead and delay that out for a hot second. Granted, I will say this, they do have... Oh, never never mind. I was going to say they have... I thought that they had their play it again, but not going to be usable when all of your Vikings are dead. And also, just to quickly note, Anubrak already going to be on this bottom. They're going to be doing 8 shots of damage over to the core of the One Tricks.
This is looking worse and worse for the One Tricks. That Cho'Gall pull was really, really aggressive. And, you know, I'm starting to wonder if the One Tricks are maybe now feeling really uncomfortable. They're saying, you know, we had such a lead before. We're starting to lose it now. We have to make something happen. We have to have it now. But maybe rushing into these fights rather than waiting for a really good opportunity that ends up just backfiring in the long run and ends up giving the blue team way more time to capitalize on the advantage they have. The One Trick still waiting on that level 20 as well as they're working on this mid bell tower. And hopefully, there we go. That gives them 20. Now they have an even fight, but the Li Ming gets dunked, goes down right when they had an opportunity to do something.
Well, that comes out too. Sorry, it's the Li Ming who's been B-stepping all game, just gets out of nowhere, just dunked on, and I'm just like, woo. As we do currently have Key taking about half health with that Blackpool dunk going out from the Azmodan. We currently have the Unstoppable used by the Cho'Gall, maybe looking for an entry point into this fight. They do not have their Li Ming, so they're going to back right out of there. Dunk going to be going out onto the Lincoln Park. They have the upheaval onto a couple members, but it's just the Cho'Gall Tyke. It's going to be popping the Commandeer Odin, as we also have the Vikings coming back with the play it again. We actually lose the... Excuse me, no one's been lost at this point, and I should shut up because we get 2 Vikings. The Ario getting out of there just fine. Cho'Gall and the web wrap. Looks like they're going to get pulled in. The Unstoppable is used. They get the nudge right out of there. They should be fine. Dunk goes out. No connection, but that will be a bell tower converted in favor for the members of the blue team.
And with 5 towers now, with getting this next altar, that's going to put the One Tricks 1 core health. Not to mention, now that they seem to be eyeing this siege camp right next to it, being able to push these zappers right through that bottom lane that's already, or sorry, that lane was already pre-converted. But again, to just build up additional pressure, perhaps they can do something really cheeky, but they're instead going to retreat back to their own bell tower, clear out waves. We did see one of the Vikings taking that top bell tower on the side of the blue team. So now we're even. Boss isn't up yet. We're seeing the blue team try to capture this bell tower on the bottom. That last fight was exactly what I didn't want to see necessarily from One Tricks. They got super aggressive when they were 1 person down, when they could have very safely stayed behind the tower, used that for a little bit of extra damage, and maybe gotten a safe pick. But they went all in and ended up getting obliterated. So I'd like to see them be a little bit more cautious here.
I mean, that looks like they're trying to be. They're already setting their Eric back, who got hit by one of those dunks there. Another one going to be coming out, just poking some of these members down. They want to work this bell tower down in their favor, but they're going to push out at this time. Sleep Dart coming out from the Ana. We currently have the Cho'Gall with the Unstoppable getting ready for maybe an invasion, but it's not going to be happening, as it looks like they're going to continue just to stack up a little bit more on that runic bomb. And as well, I mean, these teams just poking each other down, and eventually the poke war will go over in favor for the blue team here. They do have that range pressuring into the bottom bell tower, but this is a double altar phase. Dunk going to be going at it this time, connecting onto a couple members. Are they looking for the fight? Cho'Gall going to go ahead and get the upheaval. It's going to connect onto Ember here. There will be the Twisting Nether as well. That is going to be the kill onto the Ana that they're looking for. We have Blizzard Hyrule in that backline, a little bit low, but the big red button is going to be dumping damage into that backline as well. We currently have Ario with the stasis on herself. There is going to be a Viking in the web wrap. Might have been a misclick. It looks like they continue to work down this lane. The dunk will go out. That wrap, though. Actually, we do lose the Baylog here, but this is going to be a double altar phase. They just need to spread their assets here. Duke of Sky, though, really low. That will be the orb missing, but they get the kill regardless. And that is going to be the Olaf falling. They already have Vikings being pulled into this top area. They get the dunk out from the Azmodan. They're looking for this end cap peach, but I don't think they're going to allow it.
The One Tricks are fighting so hard just to stay in this game. 1 core health. They need to grab both of these altars, and they are fighting so hard to make sure no members of the blue team are alive to cap it. This game, I was really worried that the One Tricks wouldn't be able to defend both. And so far, I mean, Asmodee's doing a great job poking, but they've already got one, so they just have to work on this next one. Maybe they send someone down to maybe harass the Asmodee a little bit. He is behind his gate, which makes that really, really tricky since that mid lane wasn't pushed in too hard.
Does it come down to boss?
It's coming down to boss.
They can't take this.
They don't have members left. They don't have any members up, and I don't know. They might be able to get in time from the tower, but...
Li Ming actually going to be falling here. They start to work their way in. That is going to be the dunk coming out from the Asuna. They get the Olaf here.
Cocoon is up. They can cocoon the Cho'Gall and get the other two members down, then focus on Cho'Gall.
This gets the kill onto the Asmodean, though, and that is going to be the shots going over to the core of the One Tricks. The GGs are out. It's going to be game number 2 going over to the One Tricks. GG. Well played.